Bayek. It's Excellent Men by Christopher Claremont again. This is 240 and it is part of Inferno. Although this Inferno logo actually covers the part I would say Uncanny. So had this come out like 10 years later, you wouldn't know which Excellent Men book this was meant to be. We have got some art by Marc Stanley Lee's little brother, and he is brilliant. And this cover is like spotlighting the villains. So down here we have got the paraders, there is Saberclaw up front, and the rest of them that nobody cares about. Although she is pretty, I fancy her. And Miss Magnets as well, but more on her later, why she is with the baddies. And then up top we have got like the main enemies. We have got this ugly looking bloke, Sinestro, and the whore's twin sister, who is actually lovely. And in this story, she's meant to be a good girl gone bad, so she is even sexier than normal. Before I begin though, it's no word of a lie that I think the writer, Christopher Claremont, is a load of shite. And this first scene alone is terrible, but honestly, this comic is not that bad. Partly because of the great art by Marc Stanley Lee, but also Christopher, he is quite reserved, after this first scene at least. This issue is the first part of Inferno, which was a big crossover storyline, and it was a train wreck. And here we have got the whore's twin sister. Her name is the Black Queen, and she is so much better than her twin sister. It's unbelievable. And she is married to Sightless, but their relationship got railroaded, completely undermined and demolished at the expense of both the characters. And here, she is actually still married to him, and Pillock is trying to shag his brother's wife. He is a proper prick. I mean, he has got good taste, but he is still a proper prick. And she looks fantastic, but the main problem with this first scene is the dialogue. It is painful. It's some of the least romantic dialogue possible. And it is like Christopher Claremont, he is really trying here. You look spectacular. She does and all, so he's a prick, but he's not a liar. For sure. Merely the outward reflection, good sir, of how I feel for the man I am with. Just awful. And I could go on reading this interminable rubbish. There's a whole page of it. But I won't. Then some weird scientists are just there. Even though on the page before, in the art and explicitly in the captions, we established that the restaurant was meant to be empty except for them. And the dialogue here, it is even worse. Only some people, Dr. Martin, are too pig-headed to accept the truth, even when it's in front of their pointy, puny, puerile proboscis. Who the fuck talks like that? They are meant to be scientists, and they have just got them saying big words from a thesaurus. It's stupid. And why are they even here? They are just here awkwardly for some exposition, to tell us that the Empire State Building is apparently growing, and to try and establish that the Black Queen is meant to be a baddie. And I do quite like how Marc Stanley Lee has either subtly or unsubtly positioned the Black Queen there with her face all shadowed, and then again on the next page quite cleverly showing that she is meant to be the baddie, but really she's not. I'll talk about that in a bit, but she is definitely not the baddie in this story. And we have got something weird here though, artistically. Her outfit keeps changing from panel to panel. And it seems intentional, obviously. That is a huge mistake to make otherwise. But there's no reference to it. And he doesn't keep doing it past these 3 panels. I will say they all look tremendous though. And she is really, really pretty. It is insane that she is somehow related to that terrible whore who ruins the entire franchise, because she is fantastic. She is the baddie for this story though, but I didn't think she is. I think the Black Queen, she's actually the goodie here, because her life was ruined by her stupid whore sister, and while she does do some naughty things in this story, it's alright because she is beautiful when she does them. How come she is the baddie when she tries to open up a gate to hell, but when her sister commits planetary genocide, it's somehow not her fault? The Black Queen, she has been seduced by demons, and people use that rubbish excuse for her sister. Oh, she was controlled by the Phoenix Force. It was all Dark Phoenix, not her. Well, the exact same logic applies to the Black Queen. And at least the Black Queen had legitimate reason to succumb to weakness. Her sister, she hadn't suffered. She wasn't vulnerable. She just did it because the Phoenix Force wanted to. The Black Queen, her marriage to Cyclist fell apart because of her stupid whore sister. She has been unwillingly separated from her infant child, and now she's having the neck on with Pillock. And look at her, she is beautiful. She is worth so much more than that neo-Nazi idiot Pillock. And we have got a scene here with Rouge and Mullet Man. They are roller skating because it was the 80s. And then Taylor Smith shows up and she's like, "How are Rouge? That is my fella." Of course, they are both drawn by Marc Stanley Lee, so they both look gorgeous. And Christopher Clairvoyant, famously a strong writer of women, where he just has the 2 female characters fighting our man, and then a third one randomly naked. On the plus side, this one is fetish fuel, and she is being drawn by Marc Stanley Lee, so it is good. The story picks up now though, because they go in search of the Paredes, and the Black Queen, she starts to learn some stuff about her origins. And here we are in a tunnel with the Paredes. There's Saberclaw and Miss Magnet, and we have got, for all his faults as a writer, I will say that this isn't a bad scene. We have got the big one from that Mr. Magnet story I reviewed the other day. He is carrying some stuff in the dark, and he's like, "Oh, it is dark." But then Wolfman, he is suddenly there, and he lights up a cigarette, and he's like, "You want a light, bub?" Then we've got Steelman, he is standing right in front of them, and he's like, "You are a Parade." "Uh-huh. How are you called, please?" The big one from that Mr. Magnet story that Son of Nimrod reviewed the other day. "I am Steelman." And he punches him and he goes flying. Then we have got a bunch of decent little fights between the Excellent Men and the Paredes. And as I've said before, Christopher Clairvoyant, he can write some okay fight scenes, some decent action, and of course he is ably abetted by Marc Stanley Lee, who is a fantastic artist. And there is fetish fuel down there, and I am harbouring quite a crush on her these days. As I said in another review though, apparently Marc Stanley Lee, when he was artist on Uncanny Excellent Men, he often would go in and he would just cut out unnecessary bits of writing or remove large chunks of redundant captions. And maybe it's my anti-Clairvoyant bias, but I reckon he has probably done that a lot here. Miss Magnet though, another good girl gone bad, and this is really hot. She is normally really pretty and beautiful and I like her, but now she has gone bad and I am really fancying her even more. And the thing is, the only reason she went bad was because Christopher Clairvoyant didn't like the character. I liked her, and I liked her as a baddie because she is incredibly sexy and she isn't tied down with stupid Pillock. And we end the story with the Black Queen. She discovers Sinestro, claiming to be her father. Dearie me, what next? So I suppose I do like this comic. It has got some of the best art ever, and even though the writer is awful, he is not as awful as normal. Although that first scene is fucking painful. I am one lucky devil. Truer words, my sweet, were never spoke. That is diabolical. He thinks that is like clever, cause it is a story about demons, cause that is relevant to the Excellent Men. Demons taking over Manhattan. It's hot as sin out here. Interesting choice of metaphor. Feeling a trifle wicked, are we, m'lady? Oh, so bad. Be careful what you promise, my Lionheart. Lionheart. What nonsense does Christopher Clairvoyant watch where they talk like this on dates? Oh God, that is shit. That is absolute shit. But the other bits though, not like that at least, so I'll give this one an honorary 7 thumbs up.